Here in Beaver Stadium with Penn State quarterback Trace McSorley. Trace, week one now done. What are some of your early takeaways from kind of being back out there in front of the home fans?
One, it was just tremendous just getting back out in front of our home fans. The type of energy that they bring is something that you don't forget about, but you definitely miss that. And being in that in the game feel of it, you miss it, and you just love seeing that it's back and even stronger this year. But we did a really good job. I think we started early this year, this last game, which was really good for us, being able to jump out to an early lead and get some production early up from the offense, get some good stops on defense, even DeAndre having a really big special teams return. Really a full team effort for all 4 quarters.
How much of a confidence booster was that strong start in terms of how important it is to kind of shake away that second half team stuff from last season?
I think that's tremendously important for us as a team. Not necessarily just to shake that second half team, because we do want to continue to be a second half team, but just if we can get out to a good start and play full 4 quarters, that we really feel like that gives us a tremendous shot to win the game. And if we're able to kind of do what we did last year, keep getting better in that second half, then it'll just give us that much more of a leg up if we can start early.
And how about the offensive line? Obviously some new faces, specifically Connor at center. How did the offensive line kind of do in terms of shaking off maybe any of those first season nerves?
They did really good. Opening holes for Saquon and myself, even in the running game. And then their pass protection was really good, gave up no sacks. Anytime you can do that, it is tremendous. You see Connor stepping into a new role as a starting center, and he's done a great job leading those guys up front. Really, taking command of that offensive line, being a vocal leader now. It's just to see the growth of that group. We say as offense that we kind of live and die by how those guys go, and they did great on Saturday, and you can kind of see that throughout the rest of the team.
You mentioned Saquon taking off, but I'm curious from your perspective, what does it look like when Saquon just kind of takes off, specifically maybe that 80-yard run that he had?
For me, I kind of had my eyes backside with a read, but once I handed off and saw him burst through, by the time I looked up, he was already 40 yards downfield, so he was shot out of a cannon pretty much from the second he took the handoff. And to see things like that, one offensive line giving him a hole like that just to accelerate through, and a guy at his talent, it makes you feel good as the offense, because being able to work the pass game and the run game, for us, we feel like it makes it extremely difficult to stop.
Do you ever get caught up in kind of watching it?
Yeah, I do. Coach Moorhead, he'll tell me a lot of times, make sure I'm finishing, carrying out my fakes all the way, and I'll get in trouble sometimes because I'll kind of stop and watch and see what he's doing.
Switching gears a little bit to Pitt, I remember last season, a couple weeks in, you talked about kind of these Monday player meetings to sit down and watch film. Assuming you still have those, what have been kind of your takeaways when you start taking a look at this Pitt team?
They're a really physical team. Their front seven is going to bring everything they have every time they step on the field. Whether it's coming after the passer, when he drops back to pass, we're trying to stop the run. Their defensive backs are aggressive, but they don't really get beat too much. And that's something that we got to really work on as the offensive side of the ball, creating separation at the receiver position, protecting up front, and being able to create running holes for our backs. And really trying to handle the different types of pressure looks and adjustments that they'll give us during the game.
Earlier I was talking to Coach Franklin, and he mentioned just kind of the hard-nosed toughness and physicality, something you just mentioned a couple seconds ago. How do you kind of go about being able to handle that level of physicality? Is it something that comes with experience, or something that you can teach maybe somebody who's a little bit younger?
I think it's a little bit about experience, being able to handle that kind of toughness and physicality. But I think a lot of it, honestly, is just a mindset that you got to have. You kind of got to have that, be hard-nosed yourself, be tough, be able to come in and be able to take a punch in the mouth and kind of be knocked back a little bit, but be able to get back up and keep coming forward and not let a couple big hits drown you out, and not let that start to get the better of you.
Well, thank you so much. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you.